All right, we're out at the, this is an apartment complex over here in Olmos Park. It's owned by the Villarreal family, and looking at doing some siding here. It's kind of a complex little setup, but the good news is it's all mirror image. So all the rake walls, chimneys, porches, everything's mirror image side to side of each side. So that makes it kind of easy, but it's pretty involved. So the way that we're talking about doing this, that I laid it out for Cynthia, is we're kind of going to lay it out as a best case scenario in terms of a really comprehensive, long-lasting, entire solution for the complex versus another option of just what needs to be done immediately. So we're going to kind of break it up that way, and I'm going to send her 2 proposals that will indicate each scope of work. And then on the video here, as we walk around, we'll kind of notate what's on the best solution and what's on the alternate solution. So we'll kind of do that as we go around. The best solution obviously would include the fascia work, which definitely needs to be done in my opinion, and my best recommendation. And then also the sidewall areas of everywhere that there's wood siding now would be replaced with James Hardie Cedar Mill Select. The profile is to be determined. It would be more cost effective to do an 8 1/4 inch reveal, but what they have on here now is like probably a 4 1/4. So that's up for option. But you know, the 8 1/4 would be a much more cost effective way to do this because of the amount of siding and also the amount of cuts and everything else, the amount of boards that have to go on the wall. It'd be a lot less labor to do the 8 1/4 because of the amount of boards that would have to be cut. So we'll approach it that way and leave it up for discussion as far as whether we go with an 8 1/4 or maybe like a 5 1/4. So that's what we'll kind of look at here as we go around. So the comprehensive solution, the best solution, would include fascia overlay on all the Hardie, would include replacing the 1x4 trim on all the windows and doors. It would include replacing all the siding and corner trim on every single chimney. There's 4 chimneys on the house. Would include redoing all of the siding on the chimneys. Would include all of the affected porch ceiling areas. There's 4 of them that are really the priority solution at this point. It would include all the window trim around the, all the 1x4 trim around the windows and doors. And then it would include all the siding, window wrap, door wrap, painting of all the porch ceilings, interior in the inside corridor in here, as well as on the 4 exterior porches. Would include Hardie underneath the 2 porches up front, and then 1 porch each on the left and right side on the outermost porch area. On the front porches, we would do the whole porch. When we go around to the sides, I'll indicate kind of what I recommend there as far as a scope of work. To do the Hardie on the outermost porch ceilings, and on the innermost porch ceilings, all 4 of those look pretty good on the left and right side. 4 meaning top and bottom on each side. So we'll talk about that. But the comprehensive solution would make this basically a do it once, do it right, never have to do anything again, you know, as far as repair, any kind of rot repair, painting, you know, you're gonna have a lifetime warranty on the paint. So that would be the comprehensive kind of best solution. But like I said, we'll break it up both ways. So starting out here on the front, obviously we got some massive chimneys that would be addressed. There again, keep in mind everything is mirror image. So there's a rake wall right here. There's also a rake wall immediately to the left of that you can see right here. And the opposite sides of these rakes go down to the outer edges of the complex. So all that's accounted for as well. All these gables in here, the inside patios up here, up top, and the inside patios down below would all be the Hardie plank siding. We'll take a walk around the perimeter, and then we'll go inside the corridor to take a look there. So that's what all would be included on the front. Fascia overlay everywhere. Again, as I mentioned, on the chimneys, full siding, front, back sides, as well as the 1x4 trim going up the corners. So that's what we have on the front. We'll take a little stroll over here to the right side of the property. again, keep in mind everything is a mirror image. This side's a little bit harder to see because of the trees obstructing, but what we can't see over here, you have a good view of on the left side. So here, again, so what I'm talking about with porch ceilings, this outermost porch from here outward, that is what needs to be done. Back up in here, back under there, and up top, again, tucked back and tucked back under the porch ceiling closest to the door. That doesn't look like it's in bad shape. So it would just be this area below and that area above outermost. Down here it's about 4 feet. Up top it's about 2 feet. That would be actually replaced with Hardie. Back in the back on the porch ceiling would just be left alone and painted. Now the comprehensive solution would include siding underneath on the entire walls inside. Wherever there's siding now, that siding would be taken off and James Hardie would be installed top and bottom. You can see a big old chimney. There's one of the 4 chimneys. So again, all sides and all trim would be replaced with Hardie. And then there's a rake wall. You can see right where these corner splits, there's a rake wall going straight up that connects with those ones that you see on the front, and that's on both sides. Other than that, it's just fascia overlay all the way around. A lot of the corners need to be reconnected. The corners of the fascia, they're splitting. You know, water, ants, bugs can get in there and cause future problems. So by going with the Hardie on the fascia, again, it's just a comprehensive, never have to fool with this again, save all kinds of money, and also, you know, just hassle and headache as far as maintenance and upkeep of the complex. So that's what we have over here. And as we go around to the back, back's pretty straightforward. So we just have a bunch of fascia back here to deal with. There's 2 circular gable vents that you can see in the gables here. It's kind of behind the tree. Those would all be re-trimmed. You can see this trim's kind of fallen off. This trim too. So those gable vents would all be retrimmed with Hardie 1x4, and then the vents would be painted. So it'd give it a nice, again, just full maintenance to match with the brick is just the fact that you're never going to have to maintain it and won't have to paint it again, you know, for as long as y'all are here. So the back is pretty straightforward. Coming over to the left side, it's again just a exact representation of the right side. Here you get a little bit better view of the chimney all the way up. Here, so again on the porch ceiling, this outer portion right here would be replaced with Hardie. This portion underneath, right back to the beam that goes across here, about 3.5, 4 feet, that would be replaced with Hardie. The other porch ceiling interior to the structure would be just painted. So again, that's my best recommendation, again, just so we're not overdoing it, so we're still taking an economical approach to doing a comprehensive solution, which would, again, put you in the position of never having to maintain paint, upkeep, anything else on the entire exterior for the remainder of the time that y'all will be here. So again, all the siding interior to the porch that's on the walls now would all be replaced with 1x4, or excuse me, would all replaced with James Hardie. And then all the 1x4 around the windows, doors, and the chimney corners all the way up top would all become Hardie 1x4 as well. And then of course we got the fascia overlay all the way in front and all the way to the back. Here you got a good view, really good view of the rake, and why I recommend the other rake is in just as bad condition. See that? So these boards here, there, the boards are just ready to fall off. You can really see it if you come out and take a look. The boards are just about ready to fall off there. It's masonite siding, so this stuff just hates water and heat. So the more it gets wet and the more it gets exposed to heat, it just starts becoming brittle and just flaking away. So definitely, I would put this on the priority list. But again, this ties into those other rakes that we saw on the front of the house, so it kind of has to be done all as one. So those are the rakes on each side, both on this side and the right side, that we couldn't see over there because of the trees. On both balconies, zoom out, on both balconies, this facing edge would be done in Hardie, almost like a fascia overlay. But what we would do, I think a lot of the problem is being the contributor, is that this facing is cut flush with the porch ceiling. So water is coming off the porch, the balcony, coming down this fascia and running back up under the soffit. So when we did the overlay with the fascia, or with the porch balcony base, we would extend that about a ½ inch over the bottom of the base, so the water's gonna flush off, not roll back up under the porch. And I think that's a lot of the problem that we're seeing, based on, it's evidenced by the staining. You can see the watermarks running vertically down the facing edge, and it's clearly manifesting back up under the porch, which is causing all the rot. So we would overhang that a little bit to promote the water shedding off, not wicking back up under into the porch, causing all that rot that we see on all 4 of the porches. So that's my solution there. Again, chimneys all the way up, siding all sides of the chimney, and then the trim, of course, would all be replaced with Hardie trim all the way up. We'll go and take a spin through the corridor inside. So long and short of it, basically, we have the comprehensive solution, which is doing everything the right way to the point where you'd never have any maintenance again. The more conservative or immediate priority phase would be all the porch ceiling work, because that's really what's being affected the most. And it's all, again, being, really made worse by the fact that this water is coming right under here and lipping back under onto the porch ceiling. So again, as we hop in here, all of this is a mirror image. So we have an upper and a lower. So all these sides all the way up, all would be Hardie plank siding. The entire porch ceiling areas, top and bottom down here, would all be painted. It's in good condition. It just needs some paint and it'll look good as new. All the windows, doors, every corner trim would all be replaced with Hardie 1x4. And take a look through here. So, and again, you got evidence of rot all like this, and it's typical, very indicative of masonite, where it's just rotting and soaking up that water. You could choose to leave this alone as maybe an alternate, compromise to the entire best solution. We'd have to figure out how to divide that up. It might be a little tricky, but that's an option that could be considered. I don't recommend it because the aesthetics are going to be all kind of out of whack, because we don't have a board with Hardie that looks exactly like this. So my recommendation is to do it all and just, again, be done with it. This is still going to need maintenance. This masonite, it's still going to need to be repainted. It may not rot under here where it's protected, but it's still going to need paint. And if you put Hardie under here, it will be a do it once, do it right, and you won't have to paint under here anymore. So that's what we look like. We got some doors, windows that would be retrimmed in Hardie 1x4. All these corners here and here would all be 1x4. And then this just extends forward. So we got 2 windows and a door, 2 windows and a door, exact mirror image of the other side. All this porch ceiling would be painted, both here and up under here. It's all in good condition. It just needs some paint and it'll look as good as new. We take all the fixtures off, obviously, and put them back when we're done. So then if we come up to the top level, here's more rot down here, really bad. This board's basically pulling away. You can see the masonite rotting down here, rotting real bad right here. This is the little complexity here. See how the stairway runs right into the siding. I looked from the other edge, there is daylight, so we should be able to tear that off and get some siding back there. See the daylight all the way up. So I think we can do it. It's just gonna be a little complexity. So that's all done. It'd have to be tucked behind there. This would be a full tear off, obviously. We don't want to leave this masonite stuff on. And then again, all this porch ceiling all the way up here would be painted. And then if we go upstairs, you can see again just it's just more sidewall. I think there's 4 windows and 2 doors. Up top, kind of the same situation with theirs. You can see where it butts up pretty darn close to the steps, the stairway here. And then up top is just more of the same right there. And then again, the porch ceiling would all be painted. So that's what it looks like inside the corridor. Again, not as aside from some of the obvious things with the tram and the rock towards the exterior edges. But the priority definitely is the exterior. But again, for aesthetics and maintenance, most people that we meet with have told us they prefer to not do this again. So by doing this interior corridor here, it would create that exact situation where none of this is going to have to be maintained, worried with, or watched over for the remainder of, you know, the ownership of the complex here. So that's what we're looking at. And that's pretty much the project again. So we have those two projects. Would be an entire best comprehensive solution, and then a immediate solution, which would be the porch ceilings, the outer porch ceilings, all four, and then the facing of all the four porch ceilings, kind of like the fascia. So that's what we got. Cynthia, really appreciate you having me out today. It was a pleasure to meet you, and we look forward to working with you on this project. Thanks so much.